afternoon, graduates and happy families. Please be seated. It is truly a great day today. Best day of the year for us by far. Hopefully for some of you, best day ever. I'm Paul Shepson. I'm Dean of the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences. So speaking of best day ever, I know where many of us were 4 years ago, and it wasn't at graduation. So please raise your hand if this is your first in-person graduation since nursery school. So we're going to have fun with this today. Raise your hand if it were all of you at the main commencement. Okay, so I have a question for you. Which students cheer the loudest? Wow. Let's do that a few more times. So, okay, so this is why we arranged for security. After the SoMAS students and family members cheered, the president and provost looked at me like this. You know, you're like 5% of the West Campus, and the cheering was louder than the College of Arts and Sciences students. I'm afraid you're going to learn that I like to talk and I like to do this. So I'm just going to tell you that we recently had a visit to our school from Richard Larson, who's the president of the Senate. And he said to me, among other really laudatory comments, there's a spirit here in SoMAS. I've never seen anything like it. How do you do that? And it's all of you here in the center of the room. So congratulations to you. So Jenny, we'll be here till 5 o'clock, okay? So graduates, you did it. I might be pushing my luck here. So your hard work and determination, your late nights without sleep, and your efforts toward making yourself one of the leaders of the future have finally paid off. Way to go, you are on your way. So I want to start by telling you a story. I know a young woman only a little bit older than you, maybe 8 or so years older than you, who about 6 years ago said to me, I don't think I want to bring children into this world. And I want to tell you, that just broke my heart. I felt terrible that a young person could feel that way. And then along came COVID, and it rocked our worlds right at the end of your high school experience. So as a consequence of COVID, that young woman lost her job, was unemployed, and saw many of her friends and other people really hurting, people who needed help. So inspired by this, with nothing to do and being unemployed, she decided to become a Stony Brook University student enrolling in the nursing program so that she could help people. She graduated, became an RN, got a great job in Manhattan where she lives and now feels healthy and happy and optimistic about the future. And she now really wants to have children. So I wish this for you, that Stony Brook and you work together to help you feel good about your future, to learn that you can do difficult things, and you have a newfound sense that you are in control of your future. That life isn't something that's happening to you, but that you have your hand on the tiller, as we like to say in SoMAS, and that your future is exciting, and it is. So I understand the concept of commencement. I get it. It's not an end, but a beginning. But I don't know. Why not let yourselves take a minute, think back at what seems like just yesterday when you first arrived here and all that you have accomplished, and congratulate yourself. Wallow in it a bit. It's okay. You deserve it. And I know you, Mom and Dad, you're pretty proud right now too, right? I've seen some tears out there already. Thank you, Mom and Dad. You did really good work. But not just Mom and Dad, let's take this opportunity to acknowledge all the relatives, siblings, grandparents, family, and friends who have assisted you along the way. Many people have sacrificed for you, worried about you. They do that for you, and given you their unconditional love. So many thanks to them. Let's also thank the faculty, the professors who have taught you well and counseled you, and the staff who have cared for you and assisted you. So congratulations and thank you to all those in the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences who have helped you reach this wonderful goal. So, I don't know, ending, beginning, I like to think that every day is a new gift, and a new opportunity. You're not ending or beginning, you're on a path. The path, right, Laura? To, well, nobody knows, not you. So what I want to say is you don't necessarily need to know. It's better at this stage to not know. But what I want to say is make it a great adventure. As they say, when you come to the fork in the road, take it. You might make a mistake, but in fact, you never make a mistake because when you do, you'll know yourself a little better. You'll know a little better which path is right for you, what home could be your home, where your people are. You learn by going down the path and making mistakes. So when you turn right and that was a bad choice, you take corrective action, move forward again, and know that you are now stronger and smarter. So take risks, be bold, and learn about yourself. I will say, all that said, however, that objectively speaking, I firmly believe that you, SoMAS grads, have chosen your educational focus wisely. Many of you joined us with a passion to save the world, right? It needs it. It needs you. So thank you for that. Rarely has there been a time when we need young professionals in the field of environmental sciences more than now. So in the spirit of the phrase, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. You are with us, the shepherds of our planet, and I hope we have educated you well. While the challenges that we have in our quest to save the earth sometimes feel totally overwhelming, we have many things that give us hope and strength, like the New York Climate Exchange and thousands of similar efforts all around the world. But most of all, we have you. You are all unique and marvelous expressions of the hopefulness of the future. You are all highly capable of doing great things, making the world a much better place, and doing things that others will someday look at and think were highly inspired and brilliant coming from you. Aim for that. So this event represents a recognition and celebration of your continuing lifelong journey of adventure. You are now a professional learner, so just keep doing that and keep celebrating and exploring and protecting the miracle of the earth. Let me quote the words of a very wise man, Martin Luther King, who spent all of his adult life trying to make the world a better place. Quote, "For in the true nature of things, if we rightly consider, every green tree is far more glorious than if it were made of gold and silver." We sure do love our trees on the South Campus, I will add. So to develop the creativity and wisdom to help you to save the earth, a noble cause, I urge you to spend lots of time in it, all over it. Listen to and learn about what it is telling you. But you're not just a learner, you have new responsibilities. You are now also a teacher. Teach others to do these things. Spend time with others in forests, in and on rivers, climbing mountains, in the oceans, I'm sure, and teach them what you know. Be like our friend and teacher, Chris Paparo. To know him is to love him, right? Spend time interacting with Earth's creatures. You can tell what joy that gives Chris. They're a miracle, and you are one of them. You are a miracle. Treat yourself and others that way with respect and dignity. You get one life, live it well, boldly, go far, do different. There are 8 billion people on the planet. You need to stand out, be different, be exceptional, and always to each other, be kind. So congratulations, class of 2024. Let me hear it. Okay, Jenny, I'm going slower now. I've never heard anything like that. There's something unique about this class. So I am not, good for you, I am not the keynote speaker. It's now my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Laura Klahre. Laura earned her BS in Marine Science at Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, Florida, and then completed her MS in Marine Sciences at SoMAS in 1997, working with Dave Conover. She is a great example of someone who blazed her own highly unique path. You'll hear, if I stop, you'll get to hear from her. Laura moved from oceanography to bee ranching and is the owner of Blossom Meadow Farm on the North Fork of Long Island. But not so far afield from her degree, she says, as biodiversity is important in our forests, on our oceans, all over the planet, and also in creating a healthy ecosystem in which her bees can thrive. Laura's working to maintain and support Long Island's native pollinators, including mason bees and bumblebees, but she also works with, I guess they're an invasive species, resin bees. Some of these I've never heard of. She has already taught me a lot. She says that mason bees are much better than honeybees at pollinating because of their furry undersides, which make them look like flying Cheetos as they move from flower to flower collecting nectar and pollen. How beautiful that life can look like a flying Cheeto. Laura also refers to as a jammer, which brings me to jam bands, which brings me to fish, which brings me back to SoMAS. So it's like we have the circle of life right here on the stage. In Laura's case, she grows raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, and elderberries in order to make her award-winning jam. She needs to bring us some. And she gets to do this work, the work of her life, about which she is passionate, living out on the North Fork of Long Island, one of the most beautiful places on the East Coast. You might say that Laura is lucky, but not so. She just invented her own dream, made it happen. You want to listen to Laura and let her teach you how to do that, how to make creative and meaningful life paths. So I want to quote Laura, who said, "SUNY Stony Brook was a challenging experience that has shaped my entire life." So we had better listen to her. Please welcome to the stage Laura Klahre, and I will shut up now.
This is amazing. Thank you. And good afternoon, graduates, faculty, friends, and family. It's really an honor to be here today as we celebrate your achievements. Let's face it, higher education, it's tough. I felt like a moron a lot of the time. And you're constantly pushed to your limits of your knowledge and abilities. But that's the nature of science, right? The answers aren't known, and you're forging a path to find them. This challenge is what makes what we do interesting, exhilarating, and even addictive. Your work expands the boundaries of human knowledge. That adrenaline rush of a breakthrough, even when your friends and family don't understand a lick of what you're talking about, amazing, right? Science is not just a profession, but it makes me feel whole. And given your dedication to make it here today, I know it does for you too. It is the air you breathe, the food you eat, and your Northern Star too. I have been reflecting on what makes us strong. We are strong because of the love from our friends and our family and the communities in which we circulate. Whether it's a farming community, a nonprofit organization you volunteer at, a gym, the people at the pizza shop, or even a weekly game of terraforming Mars, which I see there's a lot of heads nodding on that one. But our strength also comes from standing on the shoulders of all the scientists that have come before us. When you stand up and speak, it is not just you speaking. You are supported by a bajillion scientific voices, your scientific community. You represent countless hours spent in the lab and the field, countless hours of introspective and critical thinking, and countless hours of deliberating on how to organize and manage your reams of data. You also carry forward their countless hours. What also makes us strong, though, are our failures, something that we don't like to talk about very often. But failure is necessary for learning, and it is an experience that we all share. Not every day at Stony Brook for me was peachy keen, but those challenging days make you resilient. You embrace the hard times as an opportunity to grow and learn. You are here in this room today because you persevered through those hard times. Resiliency is rooted in our ability to adapt and innovate in the face of adversity. On the suckiest days, I tell myself, Laura, you will float, damn it. Through the dark times comes innovation. I really do say this to myself. Remember that you are part of the world you study and strive to protect. Your internal energy is connected to the energy of the land, the water, and the animals. As you are part of nature, allow these connections to flow through you to nourish your work and your activism. As scientists and environmental stewards, it's easy to get caught up in the urgency and the gravity of the challenges we face. Through the efforts to buffer climate change are monumental and can feel overwhelming and leave you hollow. But it's crucial to remember that our work is most sustainable when it is fueled by a deep connection to the natural world. So, spend time outdoors. Whether it's a walk in the woods, a dive in the ocean, or even staring at some puffy cumulus clouds that are floating by in the sky, these interactions can ground you and empower you and give you perspective. And feel free to use me as your excuse for every time that you're late for something after this. Your experience at Stony Brook shapes you. You have now been through the gauntlet, every one of you. Actually, your critical thinking and creativity were honed even when you weren't realizing it here. Lab meetings to discuss and tear apart papers, whether you should do one more trial with an additional variable, scientific conferences where the 15 minutes were closing in way too fast and you still had 20 slides to go, sharing an office with an office mate who loved egg salad, and another who never seemed to leave. And I see a lot of people smiling on that. Yeah, you will need time away for perspective. But this place, it sticks to you. And only while looking back will you realize that somehow you would be different if Nichols Road didn't bring you here. I have lost most material things and moves and breakups through the years. But I still have my biometry statistics textbook, which was signed by Dr. Rolfe with his thumbprint, and the copy of a paper that Dr. Lonsdale assigned in biological oceanography about how copepods are the cattle of the sea. Kind of weird saying that actually out loud here, honestly, but thinking about copepods gobbling up phytoplankton just always makes me chuckle, and I think it will into my 90s. I see other people smiling too. Hell, I gotta tell you, I was looking in my bedside table last night for my library card so I can log into the Libby app, and found my Stony Brook ID. I was 22 when this picture was taken and never knew that the Stony Brook experience was going to be so challenging and so difficult. But boy, did I need it to prepare me for what was to come, and honestly, to make me who I am today. It's been over 26 years, since I graduated Stony Brook. Yes, I worked as an oceanographer for the US Department of Interior. I worked as a marine biologist for Peconic Estuary Program. But 16 years ago, I incorporated Blossom Meadow Farm. We specialize in growing organic berries to make award-winning jam, and so far have snagged 2 National Good Food Awards and 4 International Flavor Awards, yay. We also work with rotund disc snails to paint snail art watercolors, works of which can be found in Taiwan, India, Canada, and London, which I know is very odd. But the real focus of my farm is studying alternative pollinators. The jam is simply to show off all of their hard work. We are the only commercial producers of mason bees in the entire Northeast, and we are big fans of moths and flies because they pollinate too. In fact, I believe that flower flies are our pollinating future, so stay tuned for information about our farm near soon, hopefully. Science is not a field for those who seek answers or quick successes. We all know that. It's for those who are willing to embrace complexity, uncertainty, failure, and even an unconventional career path. It's for those who find joy in the process of discovery and who are driven by curiosity and a desire to make a difference. This is all of you. Congratulations, graduates. This is your day. Thank you.
We would now like to introduce Dr. Brian Coley to begin the awarding of certificates in atmospheric science. Taylor Fitzgerald. Indigo Fox. Kevin Gamboa. Skylar Harmon. Samantha Lankowitz. Costa Sakalarides. John Tafe. Chelsea Trong. Sierra Whitman. We would now like to introduce Dr. Gordon Taylor to award the certificates in environmental studies. Morgan Bittman. Jake Butkovich. Caitlin Casper. Carmela Casara. Maruf Dewan. Maxwell Eisenberg. Marines Hernandez Rosario. Arthur Kuntakarankiti. Dunwoo Lee. Willow Mercer. Scout Miller. Catherine Malloy. Brandon Mooney. Jack Obiol. Kevin Pipicelli. Patricia Prusacek. Elizabeth Raskowski. Lauren Russell. Sydney Sherbitsky. Daniel Spanbauer. Nyla Strong. Tanya Valenzuela Lozano. Olivia Vargas. Kunye Chang. We will now award the certificates in marine sciences. Boaz Abramson. Strayer Bartoszewski. Seamus Callahan. Ariana Colon. Alicia Cook. Anna Kraus. Joel Cuenca Levanon. Tristan Ene. Tiana Ferrer. Erin Fix. Justin Flores. Cassidy Guinan. Milan Hauer. Sydney Hennessy. Ella Kanashiro. Faith Keller. Adriana Manino. Elena Radner. Michaela Reitzel. Paul West. Jun Pang Wu. Molly Yang. Katie Zerbaran. We will now award the certificates in marine vertebrate biology. Abby Austin. Grayson Abasado. Araceli Chavez. Matthew DeMilt. Tracy Fang. May Gallagher. Charlie Kilgannon. Stephen Leva. Liam McIntosh. Vandana Mensur. Amy Oblitas Rojas. Carolina Padilla. Mallory Reading. Angelina Sapienza. Kayla Schaefer. Selena Yap. Jasmina Young. We would now like to introduce Dr. Donovan Finn to award the certificates in coastal environmental studies. Leslie Mejeja. Riley Smith. We will now award the certificates in ecosystems and human impact. Shauna Bonalavre. Juliet Gomez Rojas. Fiona McLaughlin. Jaden Zhu. We will now award the certificates in environmental design, policy, and planning. Madeline Julia Asuncion. Bowen Cheng. Jaden Davis. Donowa Dopwell. Anthony Haynes. Veronica Kostuak. Francis Andre Locoyano. Emma McCarthy. Valiana Melisorgos. Adrian Ponestera. Danielle Stone. Alyssa Sweat. Mahmoud Tilab. Heather Wickham. We will now award the certificates in environmental humanities. Sylvia Bird. Julia Davies. Marlon Duran. Suzette Hernandez. We will now award the certificates in sustainability studies. Juliana Bernard. Mia Bombentre. Reese German. Marina Lee. Sean Mello. Noah Perez. Christina Reed. Ankita Varanasi. Elizabeth Vool. Blair Whitneben. Anissa Zaman. This concludes the awarding of the undergraduate certificates. Please welcome to the podium once again our Dean, Dr. Paul Shepson.
We need to catch our breath. It's exhilarating. So degrees with distinction are conferred on candidates for the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science who have achieved academic excellence. The levels of distinction are summa cum laude with an overall GPA of 3.85, magna cum laude a GPA of 3.7, and cum laude 3.5. Will all the students who have met these criteria please rise in place and be acknowledged? Please be seated. Well, you are not out of energy yet. So I'm going to refer you now to the part of the program that acknowledges undergraduate research award winners. Undergraduate research is an important part of the SoMAS experience. So I'm going to read the names and the advisor, and you can come up individually and receive your certificate. So the first is Sylvia Bird, whose advisor is David Taylor. Sylvia's project is Environmental Justice in Place, How Urban and Rural Needs Differ in the Upper Midwest. Next is Kunyu Zhang, whose advisor is Sharon Pokron. Did I say that right? Close enough. The project is the impact of BPA on earthworm health. So I asked, did I say that right? And she said, close enough. That means you butchered it. Next is Noah Perez, who was advised also by Professor Pokron. Do you like this? Okay. The project name title is The Effect of Polyvinyl Alcohol Contamination on Planaria Survivorship, Growth and Regeneration. Next is Shauna Bonalavri, who was also advised by Sharon Pokron. The effect of polyvinyl alcohol exposure on azolia growth. Professor Pokron is one of our more active undergraduate mentors. So the next is Marinas Hernandez Rosario. Close. The title of her project is The Impact of Short-Term Exposure to PVA on Planaria Regeneration in Pond Water. Good job. Next is Leslie, is it Maya? Who is advised by Luis Medina. Her project is the use of black carbon as an indicator of wildfire impact on coastal waters. That concludes the undergraduate research recognition.
Please join us in recognition for the recipients of the SoMAS Dean Scholarship Awards for Academic Excellence. Indigo Fox, Atmospheric Sciences. Leslie Mejia, Coastal Environmental Studies. Christina Reed, Sustainability Studies. June Peng Wu, Marine Sciences. Sydney Sherbitsky, Environmental Sciences. Mallory Reading, Marine Vertebrate Biology. Dr. Brian Coley will now be presenting the Petra M. Udelhofen Memorial Scholarship Award and Timothy Magnuson Memorial Scholarship.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to announce this year's Udelhofen Memorial Scholarship. This scholarship was set up in honor of the late Petra Udelhofen, who was a research assistant professor in atmospheric sciences in the early 2000s. This award is given to a student entering their senior year, this upcoming fall. And this year's 1000 award recipient is Sophia Capria. So come on up, Sophia. The Timothy Magnuson Memorial Scholarship was graciously set up in honor of Tim's memory by his wife Jessica Dubinsky and her parents Stephen and Candace Dubinsky. And we're very gracious. They've supported for many years now. One of the $3,000 award recipients goes to a student who will be entering his junior year this upcoming fall. His name is Alexandra Laporte. Please come up. Congratulations, Alexandra. Yeah. We also have a senior award for the Timothy Magnuson Memorial Scholarship, but unfortunately she could not be here today, but I at least wanted to recognize her name. Isabella Gagliano is the recipient for the senior award, so let's give her a round of applause. And congratulations again.
Please welcome Tom Wilson to the podium to present the Nuria Protopopescu Memorial Award for Excellence in Teaching.
Good afternoon. This convocation has long been my favorite event of the academic year because it is wonderful to see so many talented people choosing to dedicate themselves to the greater understanding and preservation of our planet. Today is especially meaningful to me because in 5 days, I will be retiring after 41 years working at MSRC and SoMAS. And it gives me great comfort to know that as I step back, all of you are stepping forward to carry on our shared mission. Thank you, and may you find as much joy and fulfillment in your careers as I have found in mine. Nuria Protopopescu was a SoMAS PhD student at the time of her passing in 2012. Nuria was a kind and generous person, a talented scientist, a scuba diver, a jazz musician, a licensed sea captain, about 100 other things besides, and boy, this would be her kind of party, let me tell you. One of her great passions was teaching with creativity and enthusiasm, just one example being her molecular structure labs, conducted not with boring plastic models, but with toothpicks and gummy bears. After grading was complete, you could eat your homework. In her honor and memory, the Nuria Protopopescu Memorial Teaching Award is presented annually to a SoMAS graduate student for excellence in teaching, innovation and creativity in instructional plans and materials, and engagement with and dedication to their students. I am honored to present the 2024 award to Ms. Darcy Swinson Perger.
Dr. David Taylor will now join the Dean as we award the Master of Arts in Marine Conservation and Policy certificates. Serena Banlau. Juliana Dovey. Jessica Esposito. Sylvia Gao. Thomas Gaylor. Royce Kang. William Laffey. Jonathan Lim. Anna Penovich. Brianna Porter Pompey. Emily Wigchers. Please welcome Dr. Jackie Collier to the podium for the awarding of the Master of Science and doctoral certificates.
All right. So advisors, I'm going to flip the order a little and say your name first. So first we have Jeffrey Kramer, who is advised by Dr. Christopher Gobler. And the title of his thesis, are you coming up, Chris? Is Effects of Hypoxia and Acidification on Early Stage Bivalves Under Natural and Artificial Cycling Conditions. Right. So today we get to celebrate the very first awarding of our new degree, a Master of Science in Marine, Atmospheric and Sustainability Sciences. First will be Kristen Hutz. She's advised by Dr. Sung-Gil Jang, who can't be here today, but Professor Brad Peterson is going to come up with her. Kristen's thesis is on assessing human impacts on historically monitored Zostera marina habitat and future restoration sites in the Peconic Estuary. Next, we have Miles Litzman, who's advised by Dr. Michael French. His thesis is the observed relationship between radar proxies of mid-level updrafts and low-level mesocyclones and their connection to tornado formation and intensity in supercells. Next is Joseph Moses, advised by Dr. Brian Colley. His thesis is Flood Risk Perceptions and Protective Actions, investigating the impacts of immersive visualization and group interactions on vulnerable populations. Next, we have Jason Mueller, who's advised by Dr. Roger Flood. Come on up, Roger. His thesis is Mapping the Seabed Sediment of Oyster Bay Harbor, New York, to analyze the potential impacts of hydraulic shellfish dredging. Congratulations, Jason. Next, we have Justice Woke, advised by Dr. Arjun Venkatesan. I don't think Arjun is here. Chris is going to come up again, Professor Chris Gobler. All right. Y'all gonna have to stay with me on the title of Justice's thesis because it's long and it's important. Assessing the performance of granular activated carbon coupled with ion exchange resin for polyfluoroalkyl substances, that's the PFAS you hear about in the news, removal in water by rapid small-scale column test. And last in our master's category, we have Lucas Wong, advised by Dr. Bradley Peterson. Differences in species richness between floating and benthic oyster aquaculture cages. Right. So we'll move on to the doctorate in marine and atmospheric sciences, the students who have been with us the longest and are the hardest to see go. Dr. Peterson has stayed here because first is now Dr. Stephen Heck, who is advised by Dr. Peterson. Cascading effects of black sea bass, Centroprista striata, on bivalves and interactions with seagrass habitat complexity and predator identity. So we have Megan Lads, advised by Dr. Christopher Gobler. The role of zooplankton grazing in altering plankton community diversity during harmful algal blooms. And back to the stage, we have Dr. Darcy Swinson-Perger, advised by Dr. Laura Varman. Benthic iron fluxes and cycling in sandy bioirrigated sediments. And finally, Christopher Tuftedal, advised by Dr. Michael French. His dissertation is on climatologies of convection across the United States.
Well, so this brings us to a close, almost. Just a couple more words. I want to start by thanking all of the people who worked hard to make this a memorable and successful and flawless experience. So Ginny Clancy and Christina Fink, among many others. So let's give them a round of applause. So I will say that it's definitely not the end for us, hardly. You will always be a part of the SoMAS family. We'll always be behind you. as your careers progress and take you down paths that we cannot possibly foresee, and that's really exciting. You're going to go far, and we're truly excited about that. We will remain with you in sacred partnership in our efforts to protect and celebrate the miracle that is planet Earth. So I'm wondering if I can call on you to end on a positive note. Let's congratulate all of us for what we've achieved. Congratulations, thank you all, and travel safely.